So you see Toronto and Boston both clinch playoff spots. Coach, we know you believe the Raptors are the favorites to come out of the East. No need to talk about that tonight. I know how much you love Toronto.
No, it's not about Toronto. I love 31 teams in the NBA. I don't have a favorite in the NBA. Do you know what my favorite team in the NBA is? The team that I'm coaching. Right now, I'm not coaching one, so I don't have a favorite. I just like good basketball, and I call it the way I see it. You look at the Raptors this year, you look at how they played, their starters and their bench. They're the deepest team in the East. And I'm not going to sit here and defend the Raptors. In our meetings, everybody keeps saying, well, last year LeBron James did this in Cleveland. Look, LeBron James got bigger fish to fry right now. He's got to worry about getting in the playoffs. Winning the East this year is not one thing that should be on his mind. It's getting to the playoffs. But you look at this Raptors team. They've done more with less. When you look at their roster, they don't have the names. Other than DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, you don't talk about anybody else on that team. But they have a bunch of very good players with no names outside of the people in the NBA, but they play well together. They're well coached, and this team is hungry. And if it was all about what happened last year, answer this question for me. Why the Houston Rockets, do we think they're going to win another game? They lost in Toronto the other night, right? So if losing a game or losing to an opponent is puts such a bad memory in your mind that you can't flush out in 24 hours, are the Houston Rockets going to win another game?
Absolutely.
Okay. So everybody loses in the NBA, but this Raptors team this year is for real. They have the depth, the style of play, the defense, and they can beat you in a multitude of ways.
Coach, there was a lot happening there, but the one thing I got from you is that the Raptors are for real, right? So
you see what I mean? They got jokes.
There's a lot.
Everybody got jokes.
He said he don't have a horse in this race.
I don't have a horse in this race.
But no,
My job is to call it the way I see it. And right now, I think the Toronto Raptors the best team. I think the Boston Celtics are clearly the second best team. And I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they play Boston in the playoffs, can beat Boston in a 7-game series.
So, having said that, if LeBron makes it back to the finals with this group, what does that do for his legacy?
It's immense. I mean, look.
Wow.
Look, we was talking about this in the look. I like the trade that the Cleveland Cavaliers made. Okay, I like those players. But think about it. You're saying to the rest of the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers is going to come beat you with guys that they traded for that was not starters for their previous teams. Now think about that. I know how great LeBron James is, but if he takes this crew to the Eastern Conference Finals and gets to the finals, then what we said? Long live the king.
Long live the king.
Long
Is that
live
what
the
we're
king.
saying?
Yeah, they'll call him
Majesty.
the superhero.
Absolutely.
They're going to be addressing him as the Black Panther, man. Like
something.
He's a superhero, straight
Yeah.
up. Just because you look at what he's capable of doing and what he's been doing for the duration of this season already, playing high minutes in his 15th season, and now adding all these guys at the trade deadline, new personnel, Kevin Love out. I'm worried about his durability down the marathon of the season going into the playoffs. Will he be tired? He is human.
Yeah.
Will he be tired at that point?
And normally this time of year, LeBron has been in a situation they've had such a lead that the coach can pull his minutes back a little bit or give him a game off or some time off to get him ready for the playoffs. This year, LeBron James got to play 38 to 40 minutes a game. And think about the games he's had a triple-double that they've lost. That is a rare occasion when you get a triple-double and your team loses, especially a player like LeBron James.
You've played against LeBron in several postseasons. Unfortunately for you with the Wizards, he ended a couple of those, but with the Mavericks, you were able to win the championship. Are there any of the past teams that this current Cleveland Cavalier teams remind you of that LeBron has played on?
Not currently. I would have to say the one with Damon Jones and Larry Hughes and those guys. Like it's a lot of similarities because it's a younger nucleus. They got legs. They get up. They play with pace with them. They run the floor extremely well with them. But at the same time, who is that second guy? You can never point out that second guy on that Cleveland Cavaliers team. It was LeBron and then possibly Larry Hughes at the time, or it was just a bunch of guys that was able to play extremely well off of him. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to step up. Kevin Love is coming back at some point. He's going to be healthy, but he's a pick-and-pop guy. They don't run a lot of things through him. So it's going to be interesting to see how that mesh.
Karan, name one guy on the current roster other than LeBron James that has more talent when you brought up Larry Hughes than Larry Hughes. Name one. You said something in the back when we was talking. When LeBron James is on the floor, who's going to create shots for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the players on the floor? Who is that guy? They don't have Kyrie anymore. Kyrie could create shots for himself and his teammates. LeBron James obviously does that. But who's the guy now that steps in when they need a basket or LeBron's not on the floor? Who can create a shot opportunity, a good shot for his teammates? Don't get quiet now.
It's a great question.
No, I thought you were asking Karan.
I'm asking you. You always killing me about the fact that I think Toronto Raptors are the best team in the East. They've proven it. Look at their record.
I told you in the back, I said, JC has to be that guy, Jordan Clarkson. And I said, he's capable of doing that. But in the moment, he's going to have to do it consistently. And I've seen flashes with him being in Los Angeles. We've seen flashes this season in particular where he had moments where he will go on a 6-2 run by himself. But he has to, be the best version of himself on the biggest stage in the playoffs.
And that's a tough situation.
And the pressure that comes with playing with Cleveland, because according to you, the expectations are as long as LeBron James on that team, the sky's the limit. They're supposed to get to the NBA Finals when you have LeBron James.
And that's a tough expectation to have for sure.